This podcast is graciously supported by our friends at Howie's Market, a neighborhood grocer that's been around since 1960. Longevity and quality meat at Howie's Market, a full-service specialty grocery store, the finest wine and spirits, the best and freshest produce, fish brought in every single day, a meat department named the best by Los Angeles Magazine. Besides being a wonderful market to do your shopping, Howie's barbecues every single weekend, rain or shine. Tri-tip sandwiches, half chickens, a variety of sausages, smoked baby back ribs, and the best all-beef hot dogs. Howie's Market, located conveniently in the heart of San Gabriel at 6580 North San Gabriel Boulevard. Howie's Market, I mean it when I say it. I'll see you there. As the late, great Andy Williams once sung, it's the most wonderful time of the year. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the fellowship. My name is Adam, testimony guy Hawk. He is Ryan, 3-time consecutive flight winner Engle. And folks, just like that, it's Nation Desert Classic Week. Strap on your Charlie Hoffman back brace, snort some ibuprofen, and tell your wife you'll be late for dinner because this two-man crew has an entire tournament to pack up today, tomorrow, and Wednesday. And Engle, you know what makes this week so much fun?
What's that, Adam?
This week where we have 10 million things to do,
Right.
to keep track of,
Right.
to button up.
Right.
This week is when our beloved tournament field texts us the stupidest questions.
What time does it start on Saturday?
Do I have to wear pants?
What's the weather going to be like? Did you see the wind?
Where do I park when I get there?
Is it cool if my buddy rolls around in a cart? Like, do they got extra carts? He's not going to play. That's cool, right?
You guys know of any good hotels in the area?
Hey, Engle, want to play golf on Thursday?
Keep them coming, boys. We love these questions. Between not checking your emails and all these Mensa interruptions, we could make the case for 128 Boob of the Year awards.
Just remember, guys. One of the greatest gifts that this tournament has given our community is come May 3rd, 4th, 5th-ish, wherever the tournament lands on that first Saturday in May, when talking about the day after the tournament, that's where the fiscal year of boob points begins. And we keep a very well documented, talked about, detailed list of points that you've ever seen. And I'll tell you what, we're not going to disclose who's leading in the clubhouse right now, but we have quite a pair of tits hanging around the top of that leaderboard.
Every year, the Nation Desert Classic, if you don't know what Engle is talking about, awards a Man of the Year. The greatest man in the Nation golf community is recognized at the end of the Nation Desert Classic. If there is a man, there has to be a boob.
And while I know that there's a few of you right now listening who felt a little anxiety take over thinking that, oh my God, it must be me, or I hope to God I'm not high up on that leaderboard, or blah, blah, blah. Just hang on to your bustier and tighten up your bra for just 1 second and hear me out. There are plenty of guys with an astronomical amount of boob points this year. But relax, folks. It takes a special boob to accept this award. Not everyone can handle this award. Although it's kind of sad that you can't take the joke, you should be happy that you are off the hook. Hopefully, God can instill enough pride of ownership in your own self-righteousness that one day you will be able to accept this award, because although it's cheeky, Adam, it's still an award. It's a highlight. You get to play the man versus boob playoff. If I was fucking up all year long, I'd be happy to put that coat on. Just me. That's just me. We've had some great boobs over the years, and I look forward to seeing who can win it. That being said, we do keep track all year long, and we do have a list going. But day of, weekend of points are worth a lot more weight. Anyone can jump out in front of this leaderboard. It just takes a couple boob maneuvers over the weekend. So, you know what? Open your emails, log into your Hotmail account that says, toolwrencher9000 at hotmail.com, and check out what we're telling you. Save that itinerary, maybe take a screenshot. I don't know, whatever works best for you. And just pay a little attention, folks, because it takes a village, and we need all the villagers, quote unquote, you peasants, to follow along so we can guide you through these hallowed grounds of Indian Wells Country Club. We're following the footsteps of Mr. Hope, Mr. Palmer, Mr. Crosby, Mr. Arnez. There's quite a bit of stalwarts that are looking down on the Mount Rushmore of the Santa Rosas as we're man versus boob playoffing on the 18th green under the sprinklers. So get your shit in order. Pay attention, folks. We put a lot of effort into these communications, and we appreciate you not giving us these bullshit responses. So
questions.
Looking forward to it.
Yes, we do not want the BS questions the week of. They're always great, though.
Yeah.
They're always more idiotic than the one that came before.
Yeah.
And we could answer every single question we get about the tournament with just check your email. But that's never good enough for this field because this field will always respond, I didn't get the email.
Yeah. That's how, in today's day and age, that's how you say out loud, I'm a grown, lazy idiot.
Right.
That's how you say that.
To put a bow on what you were saying, there are quite a few of our friends whom we love, that are constantly in contention for runaway boob of the year. Runaway. These guys have done everything to make them the perfect boob of the year. However, they do not have the temperament to take the joke. If you were to call their name and say, this year's boob of the year is fill in the blank, this person could flip a table. These people could flip a table, throw a club through a window, drive the golf cart over the 18th green, and be done with us and done with the tournament, and we could be done with Indian Wells Country Club just by trying to have a little fun here, folks.
Yeah, I mean, the last thing we need, Adam, is a bunch of bed sheets at the Indian Wells Resort. You know what I mean? So, was that a little too much? Look, Man of the Year is really easy to pick. It's just, it's always well-deserved. It's right in front of your face. Boob of the Year is extremely difficult because, let's be honest, we can't pick the real boob every year. So, I look forward to, as the years go on, that everyone kind of toughens up a little bit, gets a little thicker skin, gets the joke, gets to understand that it's fun to kind of, point these things out and celebrate it and share a few laughs and wear it a little bit and improve. That's what we're all trying to do. We're all trying to improve. And what better way to improve than to be called out as a boob and play in front of all your friends? It's awesome. I mean, what a great lesson. So this year is going to be another year where we probably won't be able to pick the real boob. Hopefully we can find a good replacement like we have. They always kind of show themselves and it always ends up working out. But right now, we're kind of in a pickle because the leaderboard is filled with a number of guys who we're worried can't take the joke. So there's been a lot of talk.
What makes this Nation Desert Classic all the more insane, this particular Nation Desert Classic, is that you just got back from 5 nights in the very same Coachella Valley that we are going back out to this week. Ladies and gentlemen, Ryan the Earthquake Engle just wrapped up his very first year.
By the way, I'd like to be referred to. We were asked in the last episode, how would you like the earthquake thing? I think EQ is nice.
EQ.
I like EQ.
EQ just wrapped up his very first year as chairman of the Powwow, the longest running member guest tournament in the greater Palm Springs area at the Fun Club of the Desert, Indian Wells Country Club. Before we get into his recap, if you don't know what a member guest tournament is, it's essentially a 3 to 4 day event that every country club holds where members get to invite a guest to come out and essentially be a member for 3 to 4 days and play in a great tournament, open bars, amazing food, great prizes, and it's a wonderful way to show off the club. Most country clubs, if not all, have a member guest. No country club has a member guest like Indian Wells Country Club. Now, since I do not trust you, EQ, to recap this chronologically or in under 45 minutes, I have prepared some questions for you.
Did you say chronic?
There are 20 questions. Please answer
20?
Please answer them quickly.
Quickly. Here we go.
For the interest of time.
Okay.
You were announced as the new chairman of the Powwow back in April 2024, exactly 1 year ago. When did you start working on this year's Powwow?
I would say June. We called our first meeting June, so maybe I worked on it like maybe a month before that. So pretty soon after the Desert Classic.
It's close to 11 months of prepping and planning.
Yep.
So you will start next year's Powwow.
We took quite a hiatus over the heart of summer. I realized real quick as the months went by and we got into the season, once the season out in the desert started, that we should have taken more advantage of those slower months. A lot of the guys travel, though, that are on the committee, because the members out there, they either move away, they're snowbirds, they go up north for the summer, or they vacation a lot because it's so damn hot out there, So, but yeah, 11 months I would say is technically how long. There was a little bit of hiatus, and then a little bit of structure, and then an 11th hour dumpster fire leading up to the event. So, spoken like a true asshole.
Happy. All right. At this pace, we will get this done in a couple of hours. Question number 2. You just
shut up. Just get to the questions. You're wasting time.
You can't do
it.
Can't do it.
How many people are on the Powwow team, and how many meetings did you guys have?
We started with 9. I think we ended with 7. And God, I don't even know how many meetings. A lot.
2 a month?
It was two a month, maybe 1 a month early, and then it was starting to get to 2, and then towards the end it was like 1 a week.
So 15 to 25 meetings.
to 25 meetings.
7 to 9 guys.
And a lot of like digital meetings, talking to the team. You're constantly on the comms, as they say in your business,
Right.
A lot of comms.
I can tell you don't work in Corpo America because we call digital meetings remote meetings.
Whatever, dude.
A lot of digital meetings.
A lot of digital. Hey, we're in the digital age. Coax cable.
What was the one biggest change you made this year?
I changed. It's hard to say the biggest. I pretty much changed the whole thing. The competition format was very close to what it usually was, so that was probably the least amount of change. The most amount of change, there was a couple key things. The menu offering, where the money was allocated, so taking away from some of the breakfasts and lunches and moving it to the dinner parties to have a better dinner party, and adding live music, as well as I think the key change was the later starts. So, the opening day, we had a check-in party from 9 to 11. We didn't have a shotgun start till 11:30. What was great about that is that everyone's kind of easing into the morning a little bit, and then the schedule of events post-golf was just one thing after the other, so there was no opportunity to leave property. It kept everyone on property, and I think the coolest takeaway was a lot of these old-timers out there who play the course all the time, they're always playing so early in the morning. One thing that was cool is they were like, it was pretty rad to just be out there with a little breeze and some afternoon light. Like, forgot how beautiful it is back there, and you're like, I know, so there was a number of tweaks like that. I would say maybe a blend between the later start and the kind of elevated dinners and stuff.
3 questions down, 17 to go. What was it like juggling being the chairman, playing in the event, being a partner to a first-time player in Matthew Shadbolt, and having your entire family, wife, toddler, and in-laws there?
It was exhausting. And I know this is going to take a while. I have to tell a story. It's great for us, and you need to hear it. So we do this opening, which was my idea, to do the practice round up front, but make it a thing and then have a reception afterwards. And it went off. It was probably the best party of the whole week, which I didn't see happening, but unbelievable turnout. We've never had that many people show up for the practice round. And so the next morning I get there really early.
Are you crying?
No, I get there really early. I'm groggy because I smoked cigarettes and cigars all weekend. But I get there really early because I want to make sure that the check-in party setup's all dialed. I'm helping with that. I checked everyone in the morning, shook their hands, thanked them for playing. And so I wanted to get there early and help the team set up. And, Winstrom's there bright and early. He's been the starter in Indian Wells since the dawn of time. And he's seen it all, quite frankly. And he's giving me some praises up front. What a great practice round, Ryan. You're doing a great job. I've never seen that much participation. I thought by changing it to this, and I was wrong. You guys were right. You hit it on the head. Really fun to see. And, thanks for this and that. And I was like, I know, man. I'm so stoked it went off. And, it's a lot trying to plan this thing and playing it and stuff. And he's like, Ryan, years ago when I first started here, Mr. Palmer was still playing here quite a bit. And he would come out about a month before the Bob Hope, because back then, that was when the season started, was early January, February. And so he would start his year out here, and it was exciting for all of us to see Mr. Palmer on a daily basis. And, he was so gracious with his time. He signed autographs. He would talk to us. Like, he just was the best star that you could ever ask for as far as, working at the club and wanting to interact with these guys. And he told me one time, he said, Mark, being a player, being a pro, showing up to these events, having them show you where to eat breakfast, where to shower, where to go to dinner, where to warm up, where to play, where to sign autographs. He's like, it's so easy. It's such a blessing. It's such a gift. I'm so grateful for it. That's why I give back so much. And he says, the hardest thing I do, the most stressful week of my year, is when we go to Bay Hill and I have to host. And he said, it is absolutely impossible to host and play in a tournament. And I look at Mark after I'm just eating out of his hand from this Mr. Palmer story, and it gets to the end where he's basically telling me I'm an idiot for playing in the tournament. And I just go, I'm fucked.
Right.
And so I had to share that story. I know it took a long time, but
that's a great story.
It wasn't that bad, but I think because your adrenaline's kind of going. Once it was over, it was just like I almost felt sick to my stomach. You know what I mean? Like I was there was such a release. It was like all the toxins left my body. It was just, it's all good. It's all over. And now we're just ready to do the whole damn thing again. But I'm thankful I'm not playing in the tournament other than the Derby.
That was a great Mr. Palmer story.
Yeah.
Did you and Shaddy win your flight? And if so, how much did it pay?
We won our flight. I think we split up $600 and something bucks. So it was $3 something each. We won it. No thanks to Matt. Matt played the most atrocious round of golf in the aggregate, the final day, which you know of. He had a 9 on the first hole, and he put 2 balls down club drive. I think they're in the planner and Vicky's to this day. So if you're, when you guys come out this weekend, if you want to find some Pro V1s with a red circle around the number, they're in the Vicky's parking lot. There's 2 there. Call it an Easter egg hunt. You can go looking for them, and we might find them. And I think I shot 1 under in the aggregate, and Shadbolt shot like 12 over. Worst round of golf I've ever seen him play. We thought we were out of it, so we go to the lunch, and I'm like, "There's no way," because it's the first time I've ever used Golf Genius, and so I'm looking at the results. What I didn't realize, I was looking at today's results, not the overall gross. Right. We end up winning the overall gross by like a shot or 2. So I didn't look at the board when we went to lunch. I thought we were out of it. I thought we were in 5th. I was just like, but I was thankful because I was like, oh, it's over. Now we can go downstairs, shower, get ready for the party, and I can help host the Kachina shootout and like be present, So I was pretty excited. So I started throwing back some rum and cokes, It was a hot dog hamburger lunch. I had 1 of each. And what better thing to wash it down in a air-conditioned ballroom than, some Bacardi Cokes with lime? And I was overserved again. And I'm paying off the pigeon sheet to Wagner and Ackerson. And Wagner goes, man, I'm stoked you guys got in. And I was like, got into what? He's like, you're in the playoff. And I fucking walk over to the board and I go, holy shit. And Shaddy, his hair's down. He finally undid his bun and he's in the and I'm like, we got to go back out there. And we had to tighten it up real quick. And of course we're team 1A, so we're teeing off on 10. It's a back 9, right? Shaddy in the previous round, like I told you, had a 9 on that hole. And so he's like, it's true alternate shot at this point. And I'd been going first all week long. That was the order, no matter who birdied. And I look at Shaddy and I go, you know what, dude? This is a redemption swing. I think you lead us off right here and everyone's watching. And you get this hole back. Just give me a fairway finder, T-Rex arm down the left side, and we're going to get home in 2, and we're going to show this hole who's boss, right? So everyone's looking, he's teeing off. And right before he walks over to the ball, he says something because it was windy. And he goes, I'm going to hit a low one. And I thought to myself, what the fuck are you talking about? Hit a low one? With a 460cc driver? Well, he did hit a low one. It went, but it was just high enough to clear the houses on the right.
Oh no!
It didn't have a lot of air on it, but it had a lot of zip, and it just went straight out of bounds. and I just go, and everyone's watching. Everyone, like all of our boys bet on us, and I was just like, oh my god! And right when I walk over, because I now have to go get a ball, and Ackerson goes, dude, you should have teed off.
Yeah.
And I was like, and no offense to Shaddy, he had a bad day, but I wanted him to get it back. I thought that if we were going to win this thing, Shaddy would have had to like take that hole back on, And
Yeah.
So anyways, we played hockey from there, and we didn't make the Kachina shootout.
Unbelievable. So that's insane. Shaddy pumped 3 different drives on 10 into club drive, which is great. Jorge Hill, the only guy to put one on club drive from the first tee box.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty impressive.
That is very impressive. It did have to take a good bounce off Iroquois to get there, but yeah.
So good for Shaddy. A lot of pressure in those situations, especially for a first-time player. I've been there before. You did tee off for us during our playoff last year, and you topped one. We teed off on 11, and then I topped one, and we were lying 2 about 80 yards off the tee box.
Yeah.
There's something about when you're all done with the 5 rounds of powwow golf, and then you sit there.
It's the break. The break takes your game away.
You're totally gassed.
Yeah.
You and I have said to each other, every time during the 3 years that we played together, you could not pay me to play golf right now. And then they tell you, get back in your cart. You're stiff. You're drunk. You don't want to play golf. Go win it.
Hindsight's 20/20, but if you look at it, bogeys are good scores in alternate shot, especially when you're playing the tips. And the mistake we made in hindsight's 20/20 is you don't want any air under the ball. You just want to chip it, especially that tee ball. Chip it down there. I'll chip a fairway wood short of the green. We try to get up and down. Worst score you get is a 5, and you're like, okay, we're off to the races. You try to cut the corner. Not smart. We watch these old timers who were in the final, and they had 6, 7 hybrids, and they're just running the ball up, knocking it down, chipping it up, 2-putting, and they just kept extending the match, and you're just like, that's how you do it. You know, these young bucks were just getting that ball in the air and just watching all hell break loose, and but it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm glad you guys had a good time. I was super invested in how you guys were doing. I texted you on Saturday knowing that it was about to come to an end. And I said, how are you guys doing? And you said, we won our flight. Shaddy had a 9 on the first hole, and I carried him with a 1-under back 9 on the Classic. Kachina qualifier in 10 minutes, Team 1A. And I wrote back, yes, keep me posted. Don't get stiff. That killed us every year. And you wrote back, I'm drunk. I thought we were out because I don't understand Golf Genius. I drank 6 rum and cokes at lunch. Everyone's betting on us. We're
I knew we were before we even went out there.
2 hours later, I text you, how'd we do? and all you did was put the thumbs down emoji on that message.
That's all I could even write, dude. Oh, man. And when it rains, it pours. Once, especially the back nine classic, all those back to front greens, you're out of position, then you're chipping it back, you're blowing it by the hole, you're trying to make a 6-footer for, you're lipping the cut. It's just like, you're over par.
Oh, yeah.
A lot.
And those
especially alternate shot.
Yep. And those 9 holes feel like 36.
Oh, totally.
They just don't end.
Towards the end, you're just like, 2 more left.
Yeah. Get me off this golf course.
And, of course, we're Team 1A, so we're finishing on 18. Everyone's, like, around,
watching,
it's like, here comes these fucking idiots that lost it all,
Yeah. I'm going to put a shot clock on these final 15 questions. 24 seconds or less. Was Shaddy's mind blown with how ridiculously fun the powwow is?
I think so.
He had a good time?
I think so, yeah.
I'm going to add on to the question because I'm curious. Would you run it back with him?
I would. I absolutely love Shadbull as a partner. He was perfect.
What was your drink of choice this week?
Drank a lot of trannies on the course. I know they're stupid. I know they're purple, but damn, they're good. And when they're ice cold, and shout out to Veronica and Teresa, our cart girls at Indian Wells. They've been there for over 20 years. They just make a great drink. Yeah. It's not too sweet. It's just got a blush of purple, and we were throwing those things back. When we got to the parties, it was like, whiskeys and stuff and drinking like adults. But on the course, we were drinking trannies, and not afraid to admit it.
You should be. And let me ask the audience right now. You don't get to answer this. This is rhetorical because your shot clock is up. Audience, what is more shocking since Ryan Engle has returned to social media? The fact that he wore golf sneakers on the golf course and tried to pass it off as something cool, or the fact that he is now drinking iced vodka Barstool sports drinks on the golf course. What is happening to Ryan Engle, folks?
I don't think they invented it, but they definitely made a canned version. But you know what? Whatever. It's all good. I felt like ginger ale and grape juice is a little less, bad for you than Coke, like a rum and Coke. And I can't drink tequila in the sun like that. I get all emotional. So, I was trying to do what was best for our team, Adam.
Yeah. Well, you won, so good job. How many cigars did you smoke this week?
Holy moly. I don't even know. Probably doing 2 a days.
And what about cigs?
Maybe just a few here and there. What I like about the cigs is the cigars, it's like a commitment. I love it. But it's like you can't just have that the whole 4 or 5 hours while you're out there. They're only in those spots, so you need these little gap fillers, to keep it going, and that's kind of where they slide in.
Yeah, you're gonna tell a 15-year smoker why cigarettes on the golf course are great. Granted, I quit, but there's a reason there's 20 in a pack. One before the round, one each hole, one after the round.
Yeah,
How many days did you wind up in Tom Evans' pool?
0.
No visits to Tom Evans' house.
Why would we?
You love Tom Evans' house.
I know.
He's got an incredible backyard.
We had a party every night, and the later start, there was no time.
Best meal you had this week?
Steak and lobster on. Although Ray from the Cork Tree, fellow member, shout out Ray Rodriguez. He also owns Casuelas Cafe. One of the best storytellers I've ever heard. He told some stories this weekend, and he captivates an audience, but he sponsored the practice round reception, and he had Cork Tree out there, and we had caviar 2 ways, duck tacos, carving station. It was hors d'oeuvres, like elevated hors d'oeuvres, but it was phenomenal. But then the next night we had cowboy steak and cold water lobster tail from the grill, like a grill activation, and had to have been the best meal.
Did you need to go to the bottle of Pepto like you did last year?
No. I was all good this year. Very, very pH balanced.
Oh.
Yeah, very, very well regulated, very regular. Everything was good.
Did you hit the Schwitz?
Welcome to the Schwitz.
I did a very quick one on Saturday. Very quick one.
To freshen up?
Yep.
What was the best and worst part of your golf game this past week?
I didn't hit my driver like I had been. I had some good ones, but some of the misses just had a little too much air under them. And out there, if you're not getting that extra run out, it's the vintage drivers will tax you. You gotta hit the right spots and come in a little lower, a little more speed. And so I was kind of fluffing the driver a little more, but I hit my irons really good. I putted really well all week. Probably just a driver.
I already said it, but you and I always say you couldn't pay us to golf when we are at the end of the powwow. Are you currently all golfed out?
I am so golfed out. Like, Tommy let us stay at his house, and we're so grateful for that. The family had a wonderful trip, had a great home base. And as we're packing up and leaving yesterday, he's like, well, I guess I'm just going to hang around and clean the house up and just wait for everyone to come out next weekend. And I was just like, you're going to get to just sit in this house all quiet for a couple days by yourself? Oh, I'm so jealous.
Mm-hmm.
Just listen to the mowers go by.
Yeah.
No one to talk to.
Right.
AC blowing. I mean, dude, you want that anytime.
Yeah.
Especially when you're golfed out.
Yeah.
So that was hard to leave.
I bet. What was the nicest thing someone said to you about your new leadership of the powwow?
I had a lot of great, a lot of moments where guys pulled me aside and said some nice things. And I think collectively just the overall, hey, you did a great job. This was so much fun. Like, it felt good. I think we're putting a lot of great energy, and I think people see how much positive energy I have for the club. I think they now see that and trust me with that. So I feel like moving forward, the support will grow, and I think that's probably the best feeling I have of it. Lot of great compliments, but I didn't do it for that. I didn't do it for me. I'm trying to get these guys to equally fall back in love with that place, which is why they're there in the first place.
Did you receive any unsolicited complaints?
No. Well, yes. So, yeah, we made Flight 1 play from the blacks. And the main reason we did that was we had back-to-back Flight 1 championships the last 2 years with Casey Scott and Brian Kirchie. And that's never happened in the powwow. The powwow, with the way that the format works, it's usually always a mid or lower flight thing, which is what you want in a member guest. You want this to feel like those higher handicaps have a chance to get some shine for once, and that's why the format's so different and eclectic and all over the place, because you wanted a crapshoot so you can not really know who the victor is. It makes the betting better, all the above. You don't want Team 1A winning the tournament twice in a row. That's a failure in my opinion. And nothing against Casey and Brian. They're great players, and they took advantage of it, but letting those guys hit at 350 from the whites just isn't fair. So we had to, God bless Jason Giroux, protect the field. And we moved it to the blacks, and boy, I'll tell you, did we get a lot of red-ass comments about the blacks from all the vanity handicaps at the club. So what I did was on Friday, after I heard there was 10 guys in the flight, after I heard 8 of them complain to me about it, I got it every morning. We had a powwow inside the powwow, and we gathered everyone by the teepee, and we went over the day's agenda, the rules, structure, where to meet afterwards. And it was kind of neat gathering everyone around, and getting them in front of us. And Paul's doing his thing, and he kicks over to me. He's like, Ryan, do you have anything to add? And we're mic'd up, and I go, hey guys, I don't know if you knew this, but we have the digital tournament book. It's in Golf Genius. You can access it from there. Or if any of you actually read the emails we send you, you can find it in your email and download it to your phone. And I just want to refer to page 13 of the digital book under the rules section, where it says the Powwow Committee reserves the right to adjust the rules as they see fit, even during the tournament. Now, I've heard a lot of complaints about the tee boxes. So, in an effort to be equitable to all, from this moment on, all flights are playing the black tees. And everyone was like, quiet, And I was like, just kidding, just Flight 1. And it I think it lightened them up, And,
yeah.
And look, every time they complained to me, I said, look, dude, it's only your flight. This course is 6,700 yards or whatever. It's not that long. And you should be proud to show the teeth of this golf course. You're the member. Bring a guest who hits it long. That's all I got to tell you, bud. But now they're like, oh, maybe we should do it combo next year and stuff. And God, these guys, they all want it easy these days, Hawk.
We have 4 more questions.
Great.
Go as quick as you can. Why were you so quiet on social media this week?
I didn't have any time.
Best moment of the powwow.
God, the end when the fireworks go off, it just puts a bow on it. There's something about it.
Worst moment of the powwow.
Finding out that we made the qualifier.
Final question. Are you still going to be chairman next year?
To my knowledge, yes.
Okay. Could you be sacked?
Yeah. I don't think we. Who knows? Maybe.
Well, glad you had a good trip. I definitely had the worst case of FOMO I have had in a long time.
I bet.
And I have always told people it's like adult summer camp. It's so much fun. It should be illegal. You feel like you're getting away with it there.
Mm-hmm.
And to know that you were in that mindset and to know exactly what that mindset is and to not be in that mindset.
Right.
And you and Shaddy and Tommy De La Soul and Tom Evans FaceTimed me from the Wednesday practice round. You guys were making the turn. I could see the drink fountain on number 10 box there. And I picked up and I'm in my garage office. We were on 2 totally different ends of the spectrum.
Yes, we were. Well, got to make plans, Adam.
Yes, and one day soon, you will explain the origin
of Gotta Make Plans.
Well, while you were gone, the fort was held down. On Thursday, I moseyed down to Nation Golf headquarters in San Clemente from my humble abode in Fullerton, and I was joined by our partners and co-owners, Will the Thrill Schwarz and Justin Jung. For those who don't know, Justin Jung lives exactly 0.1 miles from the office. Will the Thrill lives 72 miles from the office. Ryan, who do you think arrived first for the meeting?
Will the Thrill.
And the Thrill did arrive first. Who do you think left first from the meeting?
Probably Justin Jung.
And Justin Jung did leave first from the meeting. True or false, Ryan? Justin Jung and Will the Thrill have been to the office the same amount of times in the month of April.
I think it's true.
That is true. Yeah. You were 3 for 3. Folks, you have a better chance of seeing Sasquatch today than we do of seeing our creative director in this office.
Yeah. Well, you can creatively direct me out of the picture, pal.
And I know he listens to this podcast. And you know how I know he listens to this podcast? Because he can hear it from his house. That's how close he lives. So, why were the boys here on Thursday while you were gone? They were here for what corporate America calls a lunch and learn. Have you ever in your life heard this obnoxious phrase before, lunch and learn?
No.
Corpo America loves
a lunch and learn?
They love an alliteration almost as much as they love reclaiming your free time. So someone in Corpo Land one day looked at people's lunch breaks and thought to themselves,
lunch and learn.
How can I ruin this? How can I steal the simple, unproductive joy of lunch and turn it into work? So that Grinch stayed up late one night and a light bulb went off. And that Grinch invented the concept of shoehorning a meeting into everyone's lunch break. And they called it a lunch and learn. And after they hurt their own arm from patting themselves on the back way too hard for way too long, the lunch and learn concept was launched and copied all over America. And we just had one at Nation Golf, where the 3 of us were given a very informative and helpful presentation on digital advertising from an expert here in the very same office park that we occupy. I will not dox him or his company.
Lunch and learn. Did you learn?
We did.
You learned it?
We did.
Nice.
It was actually pretty helpful. Justin Jung was on pickup for lunch, which I ordered from Board and Brew. I ordered 4 Sandies, 4 Bag-O chips. And I sent him the screenshot. Justin Jung forgot all the Bag-O chips. Because apparently when you go to Board and Brew,
They don't pack them for you.
You got to grab them. But I had sent him the screenshot, and he came back missing $10 worth of Bag-O chips. Now, there was no way I was going to make him drive an entire quarter mile back down the hill to get the chips because we'd never see him again.
Yeah, well, if you would have screenshotted a bag of cookies, I'm sure you would have found those. You know what I mean?
Shout out to Justin, though. I do love the guy.
Sweetest tooth in golf.
Sweetest tooth, sweetest heart. His wife, Alexis, brought their 2-month-old baby, Noah, into the office. My gosh, what a handsome lad. Great to have baby Noah in the office. Blessings to the Jungs. Love that family. And look, I'm not here to bag on Justin. He did stay after the meeting. He did. He stayed after the meeting. And he watched Will the Thrill and me pack orders. So that was nice of him to supervise and to watch. Couldn't be bothered to join, but he sure as heck did watch.
Yeah, maybe film it next time. I don't know. Bag some content.
Sure.
But I'm not the creative director. I'm just one man.
Yeah.
You know.
Now, we love Justin, and you should head over to his Instagram page and check out the reel that he just put out of his entire drone content for the year 2025, 2024, whatever. Fantastic stuff. But it was a great day and a great meeting, and Justin pushed to make the meeting happen, and I'm glad that he did. Beyond getting some great intel that will surely help the company, it was pretty cool to see bodies in here getting work done with the founder and CEO nowhere to be seen. It was proof of concept that we have been working towards for so long, that this thing, Nation Golf, can function without us having to do 100% of everything. So that was cool.
Just keeping it 100. You know what I mean?
Very quickly, rundown of my weekend since we just heard all about your powwow. I cannot remember a lick of Friday, so I will skip to Saturday. Every year, the city of Fullerton does this epic volunteer day called Love Fullerton, where thousands of volunteers spread out across the town and take on 100 or so projects, from park cleanups to building fences to graffiti removal to painting buildings. It's actually really cool, and my family and I have done it before. But this year, we worked on a project at my kids' school, which made it even more special because we get to see the fruits of that labor every single day, and we know the community that we are impacting. So my whole family went, the 4 of us, my wife, Mina, and the kids, and the 3 of them worked on some painting and some weeding, and I went with a group and dug 150 holes for 150 plants as part of a beautification project.
Whoa.
If you live in Southern California, you know that it was dumping rain on Saturday, absolutely pounding rain. So we were soaked and covered in mud, but we didn't beg out. We didn't quit early. We dug 150 holes, planted 150 plants, and moved 3 giant piles of mulch into this garden bed, which was almost an entire block long. And it took every bit of the 3 hours that we allotted for it, and we were hustling. As you can see, I have a pretty big blood blister on my hand, which hurts like hellfire, but my lower back, Engle, has officially died and gone to the afterlife. In the words of Michael Gerard Tyson.
I broke my back.
What do you mean by that?
My back is broken.
What, a vertebrae or what portion?
Spinal.
Spinal.
You couldn't pay me to pick $1 million bill off the floor right now. That's how much pain I'm in. So I can't wait till we're done doing this and we have to go lift a bunch of stuff out of the rafters to load up for the Nation Desert Classic.
You'll love it.
Sunday, went to church. It was fantastic. My wife had a hair appointment afterwards. I only bring that up because did you know how long a woman's hair appointment lasts?
I love how they make fun of us for having golf take all day when they can spend more on getting their hair trimmed and colored and washed, and it takes just the same amount of time.
4.5 hours.
Yeah.
And I don't even want to get into the price.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a humble man. I don't want to tell people that we had that kind of cake in our bank account.
Yeah. I know.
Who's got that kind of grease for that kind of haircut?
Who carries around that kind of cash?
Anyway, fantastic weekend. And I do want to say thank you to everyone, I will make this very short, who went over to our YouTube page and watched the video of the testimony that I gave at my church last Sunday. Appreciate all of the very kind sentiments and for checking that out. If you are interested, I did post the video of that on the Nation Golf YouTube page. Before we get out of here,
Right.
there are some people who took exception with your line last week that beers are budget.
Beers are just the pure nature of what a beer is. They are budget.
Can you expand on that? Because you were right when you said people were going to get upset, because I think people heard that as, I don't like beers, beers suck. But that's not what you meant.
No. Look, U-Ban, coffee, budget. It's also great.
And our favorite.
And I never veer from the U-Ban. So just relax. Society, these phones, the algorithm has everyone programmed to have a knee-jerk reaction and a avenue to throw a take or throw some shade or get upset. Just calm down, everyone. Beers are budget. They have to be. Part of what? Long list of spirits, right? Different categories, right? If a 200-year-old distillery in Scotland triple distills an ancient recipe and then puts it in a barrel for 18 years before they bottle it and send it over, I would say that might be top shelf. Or a warehouse 3 doors down from us puts a bunch of malt and barley in a bin, stirs it around, and trickles that out in 24 hours. That's budget. Is it good? Does it get you buzzed? Yes. Is it top shelf? No. It's fucking budget. Beers are budget. It's what you need when it's hot and you need to drink a lot of something.
Right.
It has less alcohol. It's easier to make. They're budget. They're great.
They are.
They're also budget.
Yes.
And end of story. What's the next question?
That was it. Two things can be true at the same time. They can be budget and they can serve a purpose
Beers
in a
are
certain
budget,
setting.
and
Yes.
it's okay.
I will tell you this.
Lots of great things are budget.
Yes. You're totally right. I'll tell you this on the way out. I did that volunteer project over the weekend. Hands quite literally bleeding.
Fell apart.
Back completely gone.
I broke my back.
Soaked head to toe
And what did you do
in rainwater.
to drown your sorrows?
You know what I did. Exactly.
I'll take it one step further. Not only are they budget, but the more budget they are, the better they are usually.
Yeah, how about that?
Which just shows how budget they are.
Right.
Continue.
Great point. I went for a career shower beer.
Oh, dude. Yard work, shower beer,
Unbelievable.
watching the dirt just spin around the drain
Yep.
while you're...
Yep.
soap water goes in it. You don't even give a shit.
No, you move the shampoo and you let the beer sit in the shower caddy.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. No one has ever had a shower cocktail.
No.
No one has ever had a shower glass of wine.
Yeah.
It's a shower beer.
Yeah.
Beers are budget, but beers are great.
Yeah. Don't... Just because it's not a tuxedo, don't try to get mad at me because you think it should be.
Right.
Enjoy your budget beer in your tank top and cut-off jeans, because that's what beers are. They're the tank top and cut-off jeans of spirits, and that's okay. Amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for listening to The Fellowship. We are packing up and headed out to the desert. We're both leaving on Thursday. I will be returning on Sunday.
Stupid idiot.
Stupid idiot.
Engle will be returning sometime before next winter.
Yeah. Well, Adam, you got to make plans.
Yeah.
And we made some good ones. And we're going to have a nice, quiet, fun week in the desert.
Folks, we're bringing the microphones out. We will track something on Sunday. I will edit it on Monday, and that will be the next time
And that'll be it.
we talk to you.
That's going to be it.
Thank you so much for listening. See you next week.